With a large scar on his head, Bahraini rights activist Sayed Ahmed al-Wadaei was subjected to heinous torture at the hands of ruling al-e-Khalifah regime forces. Wadaei, who is now living in exile, is the head of advocacy at the Bahrain Institute for Rights and Democracy in London. He was detained alongside hundreds of others in 2011 after taking part in anti-Manama rallies. The torment Ahmed endured in Bahraini prisons is still etched on his mind.
I am someone which was subjected to horrific sort of beatings by the police. I luckily survived in 2011 when the security forces cracked down on peaceful protesters. The scar on my forehead is a prominent mark in my face is because of these beatings by the police. And for daring to speak out about my own experience and testifying on what happened on that day, I was sent to the prison, I was sentenced by a military court, I was subjected to unforgettable sort of torture, sexual harassment, abuses, any sort of torture you would imagine, I went through myself.
Last October, Ahmed's mother-in-law and brother-in-law were sentenced to 3 years in prison over allegation of planting a fake bomb. The sentences, according to Ahmed, are part of the regime's policy of collective punishment to pressure him into silence.
Since the last year, or since 2016, every single close family members of mine has been targeted simply because of my activism here in the UK, including my wife, my infant son, which was just 18 months when he was stopped and taken by force from his mother's wrists, and his mother then was dragged in the airport, interrogated very harshly for 7 hours by Bahrain security forces.
Despite all the sufferings, he is pretty much determined to carry on with his activities against the regime.
Just for clarity, anybody who opposes the regime in Bahrain is called a terrorist. And I know Mr. al-Wadaei myself as a friend, as an activist. He's an honorable person. He's a respectable person. He has been targeted mainly because of his human rights activities, as well as his family has been targeted. And him being stripped of his nationality has become a routine practice of the regime. In fact, there are the estimated figure of the native people who have been stripped of their citizenship is around 700.
Despotic Arab monarchies in the Middle East have over the past couple of years been using various tactics to crush popular uprisings and the growing voices of discontent. In Bahrain, the ruling al-e-Khalifah dynasty has spared no effort to crack down on anti-government protests. Hundreds of protesters have since 2011 been given lengthy prison terms, and a number of high-profile activists and clerics stripped of their citizenship. Prominent rights group Amnesty International issued a report last year documenting how Manama arrested, tortured, threatened, or banned from travel hundreds of dissidents or their relatives.
And obviously, when the activists are targeted, it only reflects the type of regime ruling Bahrain, that it is an absolute dictatorship that doesn't accept any voice. Even people who speak in the social media could be sentenced to several years in prison through courts. Some of them are military courts.
Despite serious violations of human rights, Manama has never been held accountable at the UN level. That's mainly due to the support provided by its Western allies, particularly the US and UK, who keep exporting billions of dollars worth of arms to the repressive regime. Not only have Washington and Bahrain remained tight-lipped in the face of crackdown against dissent, they seem to be benefiting from such violations. Documents obtained by The Guardian revealed last year that British police earned millions of pounds by training officers in repressive regimes in the Middle East, including in Bahrain, that further revealed the Western government's double standards towards the issue of human rights.